All right, getting kicked off this morning on the RS6-ish Allroad. It is a little chilly in the shop this morning. No, that puppy isn't doing a whole lot, but the temperature's about, sorry, I guess that's the new iPhone thing where it just cuts off mid-video. About 21 degrees outside, so definitely could be worse. And all right, I guess I'll just do this in like 4-second segments. Thanks iPhone, Apple. So this is what we're starting with. The OEM Allroad exhaust. There's a lot going on down here. Yeah, just absolutely horrible performance from this iPhone I'm using to film. And obviously leaving a lot on the table with this factory exhaust. Lots of restriction through it. So we're gonna see what we can do about that. Last night I started soaking the hardware on, well, I might have to go grab my actual DSLR, but anyway, started soaking hardware in Croil, and I'm gonna give everything an extra shot. Make sure that turbo hardware comes off all right, and we'll get this big, heavy, restrictive factory stuff out of the way and start building. Alright guys, so if I did any justice in editing, I would have showed you the pictures of the predicament, this bottom broken stud. Not really surprised that it broke. It's the only one that I wasn't able to accurately spray Croil penetrating oil on. So, while I do have a MIG welder handy, tacking something on a stud, basically, you know, open mouth of a turbo and all this other fun stuff around, wasn't going to be my first go-to option, but I was lucky enough. There's just enough to get one nut on there. Normally to change a stud you would just double nut, so jam an outer against the inner and then turn the inner and screw it out. Wasn't an option here because this was broke off flush with one nut, so I was able to break out the good old Milwaukee stubby, 250 foot-pounds of torque. Gave it a couple ugga-duggas tight, got this jammed up in here, and then she ugga-dugged right on out of there. So for those of you looking to tackle A4, A5 longitudinal mounted downpipe installations, just make sure you set the day aside. I have spent too much time, about 2.5 hours total, on removing all the factory components, which aircraft mechanic or not, not above telling you that it was time consuming. So here's all the factory stuff. I've got my special tool. I'll be removing all the mounts and throwing them back up on the car. So just not that it would be as hard to access without the big giant factory cat in there, but the remainder of this stud. Don't want to have to deal with this on another occasion if we can. Yeah, I guess I did get penetrating oil on there, but not always that lucky. I also broke a socket in my time trying to get that out, which added some extra time because originally I hadn't realized I broke the socket. Anybody who's experienced that, you know, you get some slippage. But back to it, I'm gonna get to the fun stuff and catch you guys up once I have something to actually show you. All right, so a little bit of time has passed and the downpipe is in and installed. All that's left up here is to reinstall the O2 sensors. Got new mounting hardware from FCP Euro. As I mentioned before, the GESI G Sport Cat. All 3-inch back purged 304L Got the O2 sensors back in their factory positions and utilizing that OEM mounting point. So got our nice V-band to build from down there. Gonna do a bend into a 90 and some flex pipe, and then start making our way over to a vibrant resonator. So spent a lot more time getting the factory stuff out than I intended, and spent quite a bit of time getting to this point with the build, but I am extremely happy with how everything looks and fits in there, and it's all good progress. So be back with some more. Here it is, the last of today's progress. Got a pretty good chunk done. This piece is just slid in there just for alignment. Got it sitting on a spacer. But really happy with how everything's gone to this point. Figured about 12 hours was good for today. I'll pick up where I left off in the morning. Downpipe is all buttoned up. For flex section, a vibrant 17950 resonator. And coming out the back, we'll have a V-band somewhere in this section. I've just got to be mindful of losing clearance to the drive shaft as it goes back, so I might have to kind of duck down and around before a V-band, and then making our way back here to the fun part where the valve will live this way with the flow priority, and then with the valve closed, we'll have a second bank going this way over to here where the Borlow muffler will be the valve closed position. So probably going to be at least another 12-hour day tomorrow. I know it doesn't look like a lot left to do, but it's a very tedious process. And then of course wiring up the valve. I don't know if I'll get that done tomorrow or not, but should definitely have the exhaust itself done tomorrow. So just continue on there. Well, day 2, I'm calling it a night, but that's a wrap. The only thing left to do is finish welding on this tip. I'm going to sleep on its placement, and I don't know if I'll work on it tomorrow, but next time I'm out here, I'll finalize that placement. So 2 welds there for the tip, and the piece that it's on are all that's left. And that's a wrap except for the wiring. So it's 2 in the morning. I'm not going to start it. I'm not that curious. I'll let the suspense build a little bit. Plus the valve isn't wired up. So more fun when you can switch between rowdy and quiet mode. I might even put this video up and make you guys wait to hear it. Little suspense. But I'm really happy with how everything came out. Just to gain a little bit extra clearance through here, I heated up this section and bended it. It's the first time I've ever had to do that on build, but I just like to be able to get a finger in. Even though this thing isn't going anywhere, it's really solid, just for peace of mind.